Welcome into the Dumb Marks Podcast, episode 226. I know the episode's release date, but I think it should be called Roll Call.
Here.
We got three of the four here. The host isn't here. There's the mush of the week right there. Steve will be joining us hopefully shortly. Donald, Jason, how you doing today?
Not bad. Just a little slushy out there, a little slushy
Yeah, it is.
Saturday. Went out to walk the dogs, like an inch of slush, and almost bit it. So yeah, a long time.
I'm dog sitting, so
Okay.
I took her out right before logged on, and she looked out the door, looked back at me, and was like, "Mm-mm." I was like, "No, you're going out there."
I got one that'd be like, "No, I'm good." The other one's like, "Yes, full speed." Let's go.
Don, how you feeling up there?
A lot better. Yeah, the last couple of days were rough, but I woke up this morning feeling a ton better. Finally can eat solid food. So I'm happy about that.
Oh man, jabroni. Jabroni. This man gets sick conveniently with Cobra Kai drops. Jabroni. Recap drops. Jabroni, man.
Sit at home eating a whole battleship by himself watching Cobra Kai.
I watched it all.
Just like when I took my vacation, college just happened to drop on that day. The world's working in my favor. The world's working in my favor for some reason, with entertainment stuff, nothing else. I can't hit the lottery.
True. So, Jason, did you watch Cobra Kai? Because I know me and Donald did.
Three episodes in. I had to fight with the kid over that and Monarch, so he wants to watch Monarch. I'm trying to finish Cobra Kai.
We're not going to talk about it because I'm sure
Yeah.
all four of us will have a discussion on that. Just wanted to see where you were at with it.
Finish that today.
He get that stiff arm like, nah, man. Can't be watching this.
Donald, you said you watched something this week.
Captain America?
Yeah.
Captain America, very, very good. And the critics are land-basing it.
See.
Man, they're land-basing it, but all the fans are like, this is good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's good to know.
Yeah. I enjoy it. Hey, that's just my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot.
I saw one. Go, Jason.
Is it a watch now or a wait to see?
It could be a wait to see.
Okay.
It could be. Mm-hmm. But it felt just like they're saying that it was like a repeat of Winter Soldier. You had that feeling in it as being like Winter Soldier is, but it was a different type spin.
Okay.
That's what I wanted though, because Winter Soldier for me is my favorite MCU movie.
Same here.
So it's like whenever I heard that rumor like a year ago, whenever it was filming, I was just like, oh, it's going to be in that type of universe. I'm all for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I want to go see it in the theater. I'm going to be going away this week, so it'll have to wait till I get back. So maybe that'll help at least die out, the people that are going to see it opening weekend.
For me, the major spoilers aren't really spoilers, just because of stuff that I know within comic and stuff like that. There was some stuff that I wish that they didn't show in the trailer that would have made it better.
Okay.
But,
that's a lot of movies now, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, marketing don't care. Yeah, they don't care at all.
There was a review that I saw this week, and this is where me and Jason differ. It said even Harrison Ford couldn't save this movie. And I was just like, Harrison Ford wasn't going to save it no matter what.
Yeah, I think he played a good part. It sucks William Hurt wasn't in it, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a new character, just a recast.
Just a recast. Yeah, that's it. Just a recast. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they made a little joke about it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was in the trailer, of course.
No mustache or something like that.
I can't say. But
okay. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to watching it. Like I said, hopefully, whenever I get back, I'll go see it in the theater. But if I have to wait for Disney Plus, I'm okay with that too.
Mm-hmm.
You guys watch anything else this week?
My eyelids.
Just wrestling.
Either of you guys tuned into the SNL concert last night at all?
I did not.
No. SmackDown kind of tapped me out. I'm gonna do that today.
I ended up going out last night, so I saw just a couple bits and pieces of it, but it went on for a while. Like, I think I was home like around 11, and it was still going, and it started at 8. So I was like, I wasn't expecting like an all-night concert.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a ton of performers, but are you going to watch the anniversary tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah.
Not me.
No, I'll definitely be tuning in for that too. I'm interested in seeing what they do with it. If it's going to be like the 40th anniversary, where it's like everybody's just kind of there, and then they'll throw in some skits here and there, or if it'll be just recap and then interviews. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know much of SNL, but is everybody supposed to be on board? Like, all the like all the big names.
Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you get like your.
Mm-hmm. What I come to say is Eddie Murphy gonna be on it.
There you go. I don't think Chris shows up from time to time.
Okay.
Eddie did the 40th, didn't he?
I think so. Or he did. I think he did his own show.
Okay.
He had his own hosting show.
Okay.
I was gonna say, it seems like they kind of, at least temporarily, maybe at least patch things up. So
yeah.
Because you know how like big shows like that, stars that are like really big don't tend to come back or anything, or bad blood between the star and the show.
The 40th had a decent cast to it, from what I remember.
I mean, other than Eddie, they're pretty good at getting their people to show back up.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially for like the 5-timer skits.
Oh yeah.
Whenever those happen, like you never know who's going to show up for that stuff. Yeah. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes like I guess it depends on the timing for everybody. But like there's been a couple that it's just like that's the only people that could come in for that skit, and then there's one just like, oh, everybody showed up for this one.
Gotcha.
So still waiting. Anything you guys want to talk about before we get into anything wrestling?
Some light stuff.
What do you got?
What are your thoughts on the Hall of Fame induction so far?
I mean, I wasn't surprised.
No.
Like it. I don't know. Is she worthy? Like Michelle McCool, for those that might not know. Michelle McCool got announced. Triple H announced that she's going into the Hall of Fame this year. Mm-hmm. Again, I think we all expected it at some point with her being married to Taker. For me, Michelle McCool was never one of like those people that I like tuned in to specifically see or go back and watch any of her matches. So it's like,
yeah, for me, I have nor like yes or no, because I wasn't watching wrestling at the time whenever she was real popular. So I never watched any of her matches, so I can't tell if she's a Hall of Famer or not.
I'd put her in there for the work she's done and the work she's good to do, because she's always on call.
But again, you know why she's always on call.
Yeah.
It's a difference if we knew for sure that it was separated to see like what her real legacy would be.
But I didn't mind the way that it was announced. Get up and all being surprised. I like that kind of stuff. Since the NFL Hall of Fame started doing that, I don't mind that.
The one, I mean, hey, there he is.
Can you hear me now?
Hi, we can hear you now.
Hear you.
My apologies for jumping on late. It's what happens when you wake up to a snow, ice, and rainstorm, and you got to drive back and forth to Penn Hills all before 11 a.m. twice, because your wife decides to get her car windows tinted.
Cosmetic.
So
Cosmetic. Okay.
Cosmetic.
yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. Awesome. So I better get my tent covered later. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm fucking saying.
It wasn't prepaid?
No, wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in Pittsburgh that woke up today with your side chick stuck at the house because weather. So, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to all the side pieces, guys and girls out there. Hopefully, February 15th is your day. The main is on the 14th. Your day's the 15th. I know they try getting Valentine's Day off to just kick dudes to the curb altogether. But if you a guy out there, you got a side piece, make today her day. Okay. Make it side piece Saturday. How about that? Side piece Saturday.
There's the title of the show.
Shout out to the wingmen, the uncles, the aunts, and the grandparents holding it down while y'all doing that thing.
Yeah, babysitters. Shout out to the babysitters last night. Shout out to the grandmas, aunts, uncles, grandpas. Yeah. But kudos to the audience. Shout out to all the lovebirds out there that actually celebrated Valentine's Day. In that regard. So there was nothing special in my household. I did, get some gifts and exchange some cards, but other than that, it wasn't nothing big. And the gifts that I bought, the gifts that I bought were not like just frivolous materialistic things. Like they were stuff that she had been asking for the house that we needed, and I went out and surprised her with that type of stuff. So
the gift that keeps on giving.
So it was money well spent. It was money well spent.
Here's your tinted windows.
I guess that was her present to herself. I don't know. Like, I just knew when I woke up this morning, it was like, oh, this is the type of day we're going to be on.
Yeah.
So shout out to my Jeep. 2017 Jeep Cherokee still out there rolling, boy, rolling. No issues at all. Put that piece in snow mode, and we was off.
So now what you got to do is you got to put that like on Facebook Marketplace, $100,000. I know what I got.
Yeah. Right. Inflation. We're upcharging. You ever see that guy that does the upcharge videos? We upcharging everything. Carvana upcharge. But no, I hopped in. I guess you guys were on the tail end of talking about Michelle McCool's announcement.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of the wrestling roulette topics this week. My morning got all screwed up. So do I truly have 6 topics? No. Will I sprinkle them throughout the show as we discuss Mount Rushmores and Mushes and let you guys debate a la around the horn style, which was my goal today. I was going to give you guys points and then let the winner get 20 seconds at the end of the show like they do on Around the Horn. I'm scrapping all that. We're just winging it and we're bullshitting today. Michelle McCool, the announcement. Is she a Hall of Famer? No. In my eyes, she's not a Hall of Famer. She's not. But, I mean, much like the NFL, like people were up in arms about Eli Manning not being in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Eli, to me, is not a Hall of Famer. He won 2 Super Bowls. He beat Brady. He beat the greatest dynasty ever, which will get him in the Hall of Fame. But if you look at regular season record, you look at stats, everything else, Eli Manning is nowhere near a Hall of Fame career. Turnovers, completion percentage, win-loss record, the whole 9 yards. We got to start. If we're going to do Hall of Fames in WWE, it is what it is. We all know it's not like a legitimate real Hall of Fame, but like best of the best, like sorry. Michelle McCool is not a Hall of Famer.
Belonging before her.
There definitely are people that deserve.
Oh, for sure.
For me, like the era that she was in, with the whole Late Cool tag team, I liked Layla better than Michelle. So I'd rather see Layla go in first over Michelle, but not saying Layla, is even the first ballot Hall of Famer either, but
So look, I mean, Triple H popping up on Get Up and doing the surprise after he was surprised by Shawn and the Undertaker, a la. To me, it's all a work. None of those were surprises. It was all a work. So, but I mean, Michelle's reaction was legitimate. Like, Taker's reaction seemed to be legitimate. So to me, it looked like it was a shoot announcement. They had no idea. But still, like,
you knew you were going in.
Just throw the list out there and get it over with. Like, let me just get a graphic with all 5 or 6 people that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't need these individual announcements.
Agreed.
Like, yeah, no, not doing it. So, but it is what it is there. So we got two inductees, and I saw a graphic float around a couple weeks ago with a set for the Hall of Fame class, and I'm trying to remember who posted it, but it was Hunter, Michelle McCool, Bray Wyatt. I'm trying to think the other 3 individuals that were on there. And I think I bookmarked it. I'd have to go back through, but I want to see if that graphic that got leaked that somebody just put out randomly is actually the class this year, because so far they're 2 for 2 on the graphic.
Bray wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Bray. Who else? I think it was Batista on there. Like,
yeah, Batista did an interview. I don't know if I saw it this week, but I don't know if the interview was this week with that Chris Van Vliet, and he said they're just waiting for his movie schedule to like open up.
Yeah, maybe Cena. I mean, it is the end the year run, unless you just have Cena run the whole year and then you give it the Hall of Fame next year because he did the final farewell tour. But
so Trips ain't the headliner.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you're throwing Batista in there, like,
to me,
that I don't think you would do that with Hunter going in.
Give me what I want.
We'll see. Like I said, I'm kind of not saying that the Hall of Fame has ran its course, but like, it's not tune-in television like I used to watch it.
Very true.
Since they start airing it after SmackDown, like, it just hasn't been much to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have Paul Heyman give the Hall of Fame speech that he gave, to me, there's like nobody that's going to get up there and do better than that. So, like, I'm just going to watch and be like, well, that's not Heyman. Like, it was a nice speech. Like, I don't want to knock anybody, right? But, you know, like I said, it's not must-see tune-in television for me like it used to be.
Agreed.
In that regard. So, yeah.
After Bret Hart got tackled in the ring, I mean, what else are you going to do?
Jason's already bought his ticket to see Bret Hart at Still CityCon.
I bought it for him. It's already done.
So, shout out there to the Hitman. So
I didn't see the prices yet, honestly. But
shout out to the Hitman. What the fuck are we doing here?
Jason gets to meet his idol. Jason gets to meet you. Get to meet your idol. The best there is, best there was, best there will be. The Hitman. That's your guy.
Let's see that picture.
You're number 1.
Is it just going to be like Bret Hart and Jason just
face to face?
No, Jason's going to come out dressed like the Hitman, like Roxanne did for Bailey this week. It's going to be full on cosplay, 1,000%. So,
Jason's sitting there thinking right now, like, please tell me to not buy that ticket. Yeah, we're gonna start a GoFundMe just to get you there for the Hitman. That's legitimately gonna happen. Did you guys throw out anything else before I hopped on 10 minutes late? We were just talking about briefly, just talked that who watched Cobra Kai, and then when we talked Donald saw Captain America, we were talking a little bit about that. So nothing else.
Yeah, I did not watch Cobra Kai yet. So that's on my list to do today. I will leave the show right now. I've been off social media for 2 days now. Yeah. So I will get into that hopefully today after the show. But yeah, so well, with that being said, welcome episode 226, release date. It's your boys, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, back at it again. Heavy show today. We got Mount Rushmores, we got mushes, we got topics, we got AEW Grand Slam, we got NXT Vengeance Day. I'm sure we'll run through the whole gamut that is and was the week in pro wrestling. So, with that being said, one of my release topics I feel might be somebody's Mount Rushmore this week. And the title of the show was Release Date. And anybody that pays attention to the music industry and hip hop specifically, release dates are a known thing. Well, at least they were. It's kind of ended with the streaming era, but when certain artists drop on release date time, everybody else gets out the way because you're not going to sell no records, right? So word was
I worked at NRM, New Music Tuesday, every week.
Yeah. Word was earlier in the week that Miro, Malachi Black, and Ricky Starks all agreed to their release from AEW. And lo and behold, who pops up Tuesday night on NXT? Absolute Ricky Starks, baby.
Trill London.
The shock and awe surprise there. I'll throw this topic out there. And if any of you guys have Ricky as your Mount Rushmore this week, by all means, chime in whenever you're talking. But from a topic standpoint, was the reveal, the pop-up, the surprise, did it hit the way it was supposed to for you guys? And are you excited for Ricky Starks to be in WWE?
The dude that was next to him in the UFC shirt, he was not excited. Just sat there the whole time. Just like was on his phone texting, like, dude, like, way to kill the segment. But I'm not necessarily saying I wasn't surprised that he was there. It was the day that he showed up. That definitely got me.
It was Rick Rude on both nights, but it was legitimately in real time, same day, right? Like, report was he was released and he walked out Tuesday night. Like, I was not expecting.
I was legit shocked. Yeah,
that's what I saw earlier was them being released, and they didn't have no 90-day compete clause. So I was expecting anybody could show up. Yeah. So when he showed up, I was shocked, but I, wasn't.
Well, hell, TK's kept them 3 off TV for 90 days. Like, what are you going to add on another 90 days? Like, Ricky's been off for almost a year. Like,
and these are people you want to see used. So,
and then Lana throwing that, that hate in there. Happy Rusev Day.
On Rusev Day, yeah. Which we don't know her and Miro's relationship outside of them two getting divorced. They alleged when they announced that they were divorcing, they were still going to be friends and whatnot. So I mean, kudos to her there. Look, there was reports, rumor and innuendo that WWE had plans for Ricky Starks in place to debut him at a big time show at some point in time during this year. They were just waiting for him to get done, right? To me, people are like, well, why didn't you just hold him off till Sunday for Vengeance Day? To me, the pop-up on Tuesday was better. I know people were like, oh, it wasn't even that big of a reveal, this and that. Nah, now NXT's must-see tune in. Because you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea. You've put that must-see TV tagline back on your show, which
they've had that for a bit with at least the TNA stuff.
Yeah, with 2025 in pro wrestling, that's a hard thing to do because of how much everything gets leaked and gets out there. So the fact that they said, "Nah, screw it, we're bringing them in tonight. Let them talk for 2 minutes, get in, get out, and then we can properly build." I don't foresee Ricky being in NXT a long time. I really don't. But as far as adding life into that men's division, which we all know we've put on the mush a couple times over the course of the past couple months, I'm not mad for a short little run with Starks down there in NXT, and then move on to after Mania. It was hard to put him on the main roster now when you're in full-fledged Mania season.
Yeah.
Like the road's out there. Like we don't need that out there. So put him NXT, let him work NXT, have him go through Mania, and then have him pop up after Mania. I'm all for it. And
let him get acclimated to the ring, to the production style, all that kind of stuff. NXT will help with that.
Then I saw stuff saying that he doesn't own his name yet, like Ricky Starks, and it was talking about having different names.
Okay.
Not sure if that's true or not.
So
that's been thrown out there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of different stuff back and forth all week. Like nobody said his name. And then it was reported that Well, it was done on purpose to let the fans chant his name, so that you got that crowd reaction, and the crowd made him a big deal, and Vic Joseph just followed up with the holy shit, who's that? I thought Vic needed to drop a holy shit. Like, he made it seem like shocked, right? And who the hell? Oh my god, is that him? That's him. Like, but no, give me a you need a JR Stamp moment at that point in time. Like, because as much as the crowd got Ricky over and we're chanting his name and everything else, and him coming down through the crowd, a la coming down the escalator in GCW and then getting in the ring with a Louis Vuitton bag, put him over to the moon by your reaction as the announcer.
I don't think Vic has that in him.
Neither do I. And Saturday and Tuesday night clearly called that out for me, that Vic just is not going to be that type of guy.
Yeah. I don't. Vic hasn't done it for me on commentary,
and he wasn't that great on SmackDown either.
So
he's one of the voices I've learned to tune out.
Yeah.
If you bring in Ricky, well, Ricky and Jordan are already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rumor and Innuendo Creative has already been working on Malachi Black and Miro. So if you have Jordan Grace, Ricky Starks, Miro, Malachi Black versus AEW's class of last year of Okada, Ospreay, Mercedes, when you're looking just at the signings in those groupings, those pairs there, which promotion's better off? AEW or not, taking the show and the booking and all that out of it? I'm just talking about from a name value aspect and looking at a signing class. Like, if we're, rivals and we're ranking Alabama's class of 2026, right? Which class is better, AEW's class of 2025 or WWE's class of 2026?
AEW. But WWE's the Patriots.
So WWE's the band, that's Alabama, right? Like,
they're the program, To
me, they're the Patriots. You could take no, not, I don't want to say no names, but
role players.
Yeah, role players, and blow it up.
So you can bring in your Danny Amendolas and go win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So you can bring in your Miros, your Malachi Blacks, and go and sell out WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think the Starks and Jordan Grace for me are arguably two of my favorite superstars in the business today, right now, currently. I really like Ricky in his NWA before he got into AEW.
Yeah.
Him, LA Knight. There were a couple people, Eddie Kingston, like when NWA was NWA, when they came back, Nick Aldis, like there was that
it was
crowd
worth checking out.
But you also looked at Ricky Starks and went, I can absolutely see this guy in WWE. Like, why hasn't he been there already? Just from a promo standpoint, he was WWE ready.
And why didn't he get pushed more in AEW?
Yeah. So, but rumor, like, to counter Starks, Miro, Jordan Grace, and all that, rumor is that Josh Alexander is going to sign with AEW.
I saw that.
From a wrestling aspect, in ring wise, okay, AEW makes more sense than WWE for Josh Alexander. But I don't want to see Josh Alexander go to AEW. Because Alexander is in my top 5, and I don't want to see him just be redundant to some sort of tag team on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, his potential will be wasted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him and Josh Wood tag team. I see it happening.
That's a
great comp. That's a great comp. I'm not like. I think Alexander's better on the mic than Josh Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But in ring style, I love the way Josh Woods wrestles. Like, he's a throwback, ground and pound grappler, stiff, like, makes it look believable. But yeah, where the hell has he been? Right?
Ring of Honor.
I don't even think he's been there.
Okay.
So
that's the last I knew where he was at.
Yeah.
Just
So we'll see. More to come with release dates. Obviously, as we see people pop up in different areas on different shows on different programming.
It was a big week for releases between WWE last week, AEW, and then TNA.
Now, after we talked about them after the show.
Now, before we jump off this, the one last thing I'll bring up in regards to releases. I saw this morning again that negotiations for Phoenix's release are about to be finalized. They've been working out a deal to get him out of the contract. Tony Khan was allegedly advised by, legal, etc., just to wash hands, cut ties, and they've been negotiating. So if Phoenix leaves and joins Penta, because we didn't even add Penta into the signing of that class for WWE 2026, and the freaking star power they're putting behind him, bro, like we're gonna have this debate in June or July, like how did AEW fumble the Lucha Bros? And look at all the money and look at what Penta and Phoenix are doing in WWE right now.
Now, if the AEW legal department was smart, he would have some sort of non-compete, longer than the 90 days. Kind of like a WCW contract at the end where you just have to sit at home until your contract's up and that's it. If they're smart. But
yeah, so we'll see. Phoenix to me is the last domino to fall. I don't see WWE signing anybody else. Outside of your NIL deals and your ID deals and all that they're doing now, but from a like roster build standpoint, I think Phoenix will be the last domino. And then if your free agency class is Jordan Grace, Penta, Phoenix, Ricky Starks, Malachi Black, and Miro, like, okay, you're not going to get any complaints out of me.
And you can see future.
So
yeah, people who's almost left up.
Did anybody have Ricky on their Mount Rushmore this week? No. All right. Well, let's just continue since we were on a positive uptick there, talking about releases and that. Let's get into Mount Rushmores this week. So, who lived up to the hype to you this week? Who superseded everybody else in the week that was in pro wrestling? I'll start with the bottom and work counterclockwise. Jason, who you got for your Mount Rushmore this week?
Where's yours coming from, Steve?
Mine is wrestling adjacent.
Wrestling adjacent? Okay. Well, we were shitting on AEW before we came in, but I got to give it to Harley Cameron. I am not on the train, but god damn it,
he's on.
That was if you didn't bring it up, that was going to be the one B. So yeah. Harley Cameron. That was legit. She had me with the wig and the puppet turned around. I was like, you got me. I'm locked in.
Bro. Like how great.
Dear Chelsea Green.
Maximize your minutes.
Maximize your minutes. Like she has the crowd behind her to where they want to see her wrestle Mercedes. When they initially were like, oh, Mercedes and Harley, Mercedes versus Harley at Grand Slam in Australia. It's like, bro, I don't need no. I don't care if Harley's from Australia. I don't no. But bruh. And I'm gonna watch tonight to see, because back to Jason in our debate last week with Charlotte Flair can make anybody look good in the ring. We're gonna see what Mercedes and Harley do as a counteract to your Charlotte Flair can make anybody look good in the ring. So yeah, but Harley, for as green as she is, she has the entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back to even like, and this is from a pure entertainment angle. This has nothing to do with in-ring work. But you look at Kurt Angle in his first year and a half, 2 years in WWE, what he did from the entertainment side of things. Like, Kurt got it and maximized his minutes and got thrown into it and was there. The ring stuff it's Angle. Like, it was a natural fit, right? But just getting both sides of the coin, she has the engagement factor and it factor with the crowd. So her ring work can take time to come.
Yes.
Because she has you with everything else.
Yes.
So, yeah. Kudos to her. I don't know. Pure entertaining gold out of her this week.
They got to do it like the Paul Heyman ECW style with her. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. You know, if she can't go longer than 5 minutes in the ring, keep the match short. You know.
Yeah,
Just
I don't need a 15-minute 3-segment match on Grand Slam between them two tonight.
Yeah.
No.
But you give me a 6 to 8 minute match, or a 5 to 7 minute match. Cool.
That hits the bullet points. That's it.
You got something that she can build on by going in there and losing to Mercedes. Right? It's something. It's the baby face that gets knocked down and can come back. Like, we can see her fail and watch her build back up, and that'll get the crowd behind her even more than what they already are, just because of how entertaining she is. So yeah, Harley on Mount Rushmore, no issues with that. Chris, who you got?
I'm gonna give it to Josh Alexander this week. Wrapped up his TNA run on Thursday night. Did the job. Let EY beat him. On his way out, lay in the ring for the 1, 2, 3. I got a quote here from somebody. Give me one sec. From Talking TNA. I mean, they kind of laid it out. We know. What do you say about the walking weapon? We no longer had to obsess over the past because he became the new standard. He has the case for having the best world, X, and tag reigns in the company history. Yeah.
I'll argue for him all day long in all three of those categories. You guys know how big of a fan I am of Josh Alexander. Like, even with his time in the North with Ethan Page, but like when Ethan left and Alexander got that spotlight put on him, the things he did, the reign that he had with the heavyweight title, he truly was, he was the men's side of the Jordan Grace on the Knockouts division.
Yep.
You looked at them too; they were the standard bearers. They were the carriers. So
when Ethan Page left, I was really worried that he was just going to get lost in the shuffle, and he strapped that rocket ship to himself and just took off with it.
He had a better run than Page did after Ethan left.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I am excited for Alexander's next iteration, next chapter. Like I said, if he comes in, matchup wise, in ring wise, like there's so many just matches that I want to see with him in AEW as far as people to work with that he'll have, instant classics with. We've already seen him get in there with Takeshita and what those two did at Maple Leaf Pro, right? So in ring wise, it's just, are you going to book him? How are you going to book him? Turn him into that Kurt Angle best bout machine. Strap up the headgear and go out there and just put people to work. And shit, let him and Shelton Benjamin, give them 30 minutes right now. Give them 30 minutes right now. Commercial free.
Give
now.
Me overtime. Give him the whole 2 hours.
Fuck it. Yeah. Like, why not? Like, I immediately want to see that. Him and Omega, yes. Him and Ospreay, yes. Him and Takeshita running back, yes. Like, so yeah. Him and Jay White, yes. Like, I'm all here for it. So just don't have him, battling in the wave A in the learning tree in Ring of Honor. Please. So Alexander,
such a waste.
2 for 2. I got no gripes with either one of the Mount Rushmore so far this week. Donald, what do you got on the third, sitting in third position this week on the Mount Rushmore mountain?
He wasn't on the show for a lot, but what he said made a lot of sense. Drew McIntyre came down. He confronted Cody. It was like, you didn't say my name loud enough like everybody else. I was one of the ones who beat you last year. And then Cody acknowledged him. Then Jacob came in and that little face-off between him and Jacob, got the crowd all started and everything. And then Drew just went off and said, you know what? I got my spot in Chamber already. You deal with him. I'm saving myself. Good enough for me for the whole week. Drew McIntyre. I want to see him get pushed even more now.
How big of a punk bitch does your world champion look right now? Cody got punked out twice in the same segment last night. Drew punked him out verbally, and then Jacob punked him out verbally and physically.
After coming off the Rumble.
Pause. Where you going? I got Solo first. This family business. You wait your turn. And then Cody just immediately backed down. Okay, I'll wait. What are you doing? Like, we need to get past Chamber so I can get to Cody and Cena. I didn't forget all you people last week. We need to get to Cody and Cena so we can build on that, because Cody right now looks like a punk and doesn't look like a force as a world champion. Gunther redeemed himself on Monday by coming out there and saying, I'm done with all this eat stuff. You want to get on the table and eat? Nah. I'm yanking your ass down and whooping it. Not doing it no more. It's over with.
Say, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it no more.
Don't do it.
Don't do it no more. So, yeah. Drew. Hey, look, I guess apparently rumor was it was going to be Priest versus Drew at Mania. And that was to start with the elimination at the Rumble. Then the whole thing happened with LA Knight and Logan Paul and the spot, and LA Knight being the guy getting his shit in and everything else. So now they kind of a la went back to the drawing board. Like, do we keep that same path for Drew? Not saying that I wouldn't want to see Drew and Priest, but to me, Drew deserves a little bit better coming out of the year that he had.
It's not a must-see match.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Putting him on in like
nothing match.
Yeah.
Put him on in like the fourth spot on night one against Damian Priest is not where Drew should be at in the WrestleMania pecking order.
That's giving them a match just to give them a match on the card.
Should add him into that triple threat with Roman, Punk, and Seth. He got beef with everybody.
We don't need the main roster doing NXT just multi-person matches across the board. Don't need that.
Yeah, but at least that one would make sense. Like, one match, squash the beef.
I mean, one match to potentially squash beef that would spring you into the summer and run to SummerSlam. You know,
that always plays out.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because then you always have backlash after.
Yeah. So again, Drew's a guy. Look, I think I said it last week. Like, I don't need Drew winning the title for him to get his comeuppance on Roman. But at some point, they got to close that story as far as that chapter goes as well, right? So yeah, not gonna hate on Drew being on Mount Rushmore either. My Mount Rushmore this week, like I said, could have been a lot of things in the week that wasn't from pro wrestling. I went wrestling adjacent from a guy who was in pro wrestling, who had a birthday this week, who put probably one of the, the most talked about, tweeted about, positive vibes out there. My Mount Rushmore this week's to Chris Bay. So Chris Bay, for those of you that have been living under a rock, don't know, was paralyzed in a match with Ace Austin against the Hardys. TNA, kudos to TNA Medical. He shouted them out in the write-up that he gave, along with the video of him getting out of the chair and walking. But, TNA's medical team basically saving his life and doing what they did and reacting as fast as they did. So they were able to get him to a hospital as quickly as they did. And he had, immediate spinal fusion surgery, a couple different sections of his spine fused together, etc. And, he said his wrestling career is over with, which that type of injury we were expecting. But
yeah.
To go from being completely paralyzed to having maybe a 10% chance of walking again to getting up out the chair and doing what you're doing and having the ability to have a regular life. Kudos to him. Could not be happier for him. We got the update probably like 2 months ago now, from Rob Van Dam that I brought up here in the quick hit section, just giving an update on Bay. But yeah, that was definitely the positivity that you like to see from a situation that was scary and life threatening and everything else. So Chris Bay, my Mount Rushmore this week.
Completely justified.
Yep.
It was great to see that this week. It's
All
gonna
right.
be a long road to recovery, but glad it's getting there for him.
Absolutely. Long road for sure.
And I don't know what his, he's going to have to rethink his plans now in life, unfortunately. But, if I was TNA, he'd have a job there as a producer whenever he's ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Before we, let's get into a card tonight, and then we'll hop into mushes if that's okay, Chris.
Yeah.
I want to do AEW. I want to do Grand Slam, but before we get into Grand Slam,
oh, you want to do Grand Slam?
Oh well, if you don't have it prepared, then we don't have to do it.
I did only because it was pre-taped. I didn't put it up, but we can talk about it. I can pull up the card and talk about it.
Wait, it's already happened. It's done.
Oh yeah, it's over with. It was live in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about it being almost 21 hours after the fact that it would air. But I guess my topic going into it, which was part of the wrestling roulette, was did you know that there was a Global Wars Australia quote unquote pay-per-view happening?
I don't know if it's a pay-per-view or if it's this week's episode of Ring of Honor.
So they literally announced it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
With a card. Just out of nowhere.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, they taped it before the show.
What are we doing?
I think it's just going to end up being like this week's Ring of Honor. Not like a special, like what Global Wars used to be.
Wow.
So do you want the card for this Global Wars?
I saw, but for those that didn't, go ahead.
So we got the Learning Tree, Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith versus Bandito and the Outrunners. Okay.
But you just need a tag port. I mean, we need a tag team as partners. You just called Outrunners.
We got Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes versus Eminem for the ROH Tag Team Championships.
Didn't Dustin die on Wednesday?
You got Lee Moriarty versus Robbie Eagles for the Pure Championship. And then you got Athena versus Alec Windsor for the ROH Women's Championship.
Of course.
Well, you have back-to-back shows with your main champs in tag matches.
It's Ring of Honor.
And it came out this week that Elias, a.k.a. Elijah, didn't actually sign with Ring of Honor. So they ran that video prematurely. Pause. In all white. He's in all white, came too soon.
Who's your boy in Evolution? Get erased like that.
Mark Jindrak.
Mark Jindrak. All right, let's just run through Grand Slam real quick. Okay. We don't need to discuss Grand Slam. We'll just give our winners who we think from a prediction standpoint. And if you want to chime in on anything that may be on your mush of the week from Grand Slam, from AEW, feel free to get that off during this breakdown here. So
the whole show.
Yeah.
I'm on Steve's hey.
Look, all right, fuck it. Let's get into it. I don't know, you pre-taped Dynamite.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was pre-taped.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Pre-taped Dynamite. So when you pre-tape something, you can lay out the show however you want.
And it was still that bad.
That first hour on Wednesday night made absolutely no sense. There were 77 backstage interview segments in that first hour. It went from, we're going to show everybody start the show to, you want to talk about just losing your audience? Max Caster's the first person you put out there with mic time?
You ain't rapping, get off the mic.
I'm not
talking. Just
outside of Max Cat, so this is the first Dynamite I've watched since the beginning of the year. Like, I've taken a break on them. Honestly, outside of Max Caster and whatever Hangman, whatever, why they did that just to do it, I didn't think it was a bad show.
They did it as part of the setup for Hangman.
Yeah, I
and
got
MJF.
that, but honestly, I actually didn't think it was a bad show on Wednesday night. Like the first hour, like the trios title match, I thought was a really good match.
Like trios titles match was good. Dustin and MJF match was good.
Like,
the
maybe because it's match, like I had some fresh eyes on the product, and not tuning in the past couple weeks. Like, I think my mush is on the show. Don't get me wrong. We're going to talk about that.
Is that the duel? Is that the duel?
Ending segment? Yeah.
No. I meant the duel between Chris Jericho and Bandino.
Oh, I fast forwarded that. So, yeah, Jericho gets fast forwarded no matter what. So, no, the ending segment of the Death Riders, Cope and Jay White. That was my mush for the week.
Yeah, why is Jay White with Adam Copeland running around locking women in closets and taking briefcases?
Acting like it's a 24/7 title. Just
that's what got Moxley to give him a title shot. That you stole my briefcase. That's like Milton from Office Bay. You stole my stapler. Touch my stapler again, I'm gonna burn this place down.
I was thinking there's something about Mary. Have you seen my baseball?
Yeah, have you seen my baseball?
Yeah, that segment was terrible. Like, honestly, like the tag match should have ended the night. Like, there was no reason for you could put the Mariah May segment before that and could have laid out better.
Could have went longer. Like, yeah.
And then when he pulled out the stick with the nails in it, I was like, come on now.
And then he doesn't use it. Like, you're using it, you're threatening to use it so you can get into the briefcase, and then once everybody gets in the ring, you're hesitant to use it. Like,
but
he did use it. Yeah, he smashed it, but
not the people that you're threatening to use it against.
Oh, of course.
Like, was I expecting him to use it? No. But like, don't use it, don't bring it into play, and then kind of what C was talking about with Cody looking like a bitch. Don't look like a bitch whenever you have a weapon. You have the equalizer there, and you don't utilize it.
And if go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you could have formatted the show with what you had differently and made it into a better show for people that enjoyed it. Like, I don't know, like
the show overall, like I was going into Grand Slam like I'm probably not going to watch it, and it's just like, and after watching Dynamite, and I watched it last night, I didn't watch it live, but after like watching it last night, I was just like, all right, I was like, I think Grand Slam I'm interested in seeing if it's a decent show now. Like, I think it's going to deliver because that's what they do. They deliver on matches,
and if you pre-tape stuff, you got to be better with the segment cuts. Joe was out there giving his promo, and he just said something. Next thing you know, it cut to him throwing the mic down in the middle of the ring.
When did they tape it?
Tuesday.
Okay. Oh yeah, then they had time. I was gonna say if it was like earlier in the day, like maybe they just did it live and then just rolled with it. But
like, don't get me like. Do I want to see Statlander and Megan Bain? Absolutely. Am I mad that they're just going to hotshot it and throw it on Revolution with no story? Yeah. Will those two women deliver a great match?
Yes.
Probably. But I'm tired of just tuning in just to see great matches. And I guess that's what AEW is. That's all AEW is.
I think you're just tuning in weekend expecting what it used to be and haven't accepted it for what it is.
I was expecting sense. Like, you jammed too much shit on the card, too much on the card, and most of it didn't even lead to Grand Slam.
I had to do the same thing with WWE a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Like when Vince was kind of still running it, and it was just the absolute shits. Like, I had to just accept the fact that they're not catering to me anymore, and just go in to watch it for what it is. And I still kind of have to do that to an extent. And it's like I think that's my adjusting to AEW has happened to where I could at least enjoy it Wednesday night, but it's still not to the point where like to what you're saying, Steve, like I still want to be better than what it is. Like I want it to be what it was and how good the potential that they have to be so good. But
it's just you give Hangman and MJF 3 segments on Wednesday night, and that match is going to take place at Revolution, which is still 4 or 5 weeks away. So why are you cramming them into 3 segments on one night?
You had 3 squash matches. Only one that was that should have been was Megan Bang.
3 weeks for Revolution. Not much better, but
the part that had me a little bad was after Hurt Business wins, you roll out Cage and Lance Archer, and I'm like, they want a title shot. I'm like, they want a title shot. I'm like, you guys just got your ass kicked by Ospreay and Omega, and I was like, those guys are the literal definitions of doormats.
Yes,
the gun should have put over them.
And the only titles that they should be looking for is titles they made on AEW Fight Forever, the video game.
I mean, I thought when they came out, I was just like, why aren't they on Ring of Honor? Like that's the tag division they deserve to be in. But
I was like, really? These guys coming out for the titles? No.
I hope that isn't on the pay-per-view. I hope that's just on Dynamite next week.
You're like, do your job.
You know what? Scrapping it. We're not running through Grand Slam. It's my show this week. I'm not doing it. If you want to watch Grand Slam, maybe we'll do a Fallout tomorrow, depending on how good it is. But we're not breaking it down.
Oh, I'm not watching. It doesn't start till like after 10:30 tonight. That's tomorrow.
It's after the slam dunk contest. Yeah. So
just slowly down here. It's like 3-point slam dunk contest. Grand Slam.
Yeah. All right. Let's cap off the rest of these mushes this week. So, mushes. Jay, who you got?
Mine was just AEW as a whole, minus the women's block. The women's block I enjoyed, did what it needed to do. Everything else to me was just terrible. Matches were good, but it made no sense. You put too much shit in there.
It sounds a lot like NXT.
Let's get to that point. Yeah. But it was just AEW. A whole lot of shit that didn't need to be on the show was on the show.
Chris, your mush?
Mine was the ending segment of Dynamite.
That's right. You said that. Donald.
My mush was the main event of NXT with Tony D and Ridge Holland. I mean, it was harder to watch that. Didn't get him adult circumcision surgery. I mean, it was terrible. And then the end even made it worse. Ridge Holland beats Tony to death with the crowbar, and Tony kicks out of it when he went to pin him. So what happens?
Family, man. That's his weapon.
But you got to make it realistic. But then Tony beats him with the crowbar, and he gets the pin. But then Ridge no-sells the crowbar by rolling out of the cage and walking up the ramp, which the cameras catch. So Izzy could be in place and hit Tony with the crowbar, and then he sells the crowbar on his knee. I was like, these are 2 reasons that I've been saying for years that Ridge Holland and Tony D needs fired. That was a pathetic main event.
You just killed Ridge Holland for me.
2 of Dawn's favorite talents in NXT right there.
Look, I like the ending with the swerve with Izzy.
That was good. Yeah, I like that.
Because it made, it added to the Spears thing and everything else. And that now we got another group / faction, which we're getting another faction at Vengeance Day. Didn't know if you guys knew that or not, but another one's coming in. So yeah, we'll see who debuts in that, later on. But the match itself, was not good in that regard. My mush before that was the Crow's Nest interview with Trick Williams. I don't know. This is what I was worried about with Trick. And all my worries about Trick have kind of come to fruition. He was still too green in the ring to put the belt on him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have him involved with the right individual, it's sink or swim, and he's done a lot more sinking than he has swimming. So yeah, like
he's a thing. He's
first off, why are we doing a strap match in February anyways? Is
yes.
Okay. Second off, like just the whole
I didn't hear that, so that was news to me.
He been carrying the strap for like a good 3 weeks now.
Yeah, like
Eddie,
you know, the whole Eddie Thorpe still standing around the can of fire like he's an a cappella group in Philadelphia and Rocky One. Like to
Great Wolf.
The challenge of the strap match, and then Trick's response, like, yeah, nah, just and they're doing it from the crow's nest, which from a production aspect was the worst place to shoot it because it was being done so that way they could set up the cage for the main event, and all you see are the workers behind them setting up the cage.
NXT men's division. How many times we say it? How many times we say it?
It's rough.
It is.
Yeah.
It's rough. Starks is gonna inject some life into that.
Yeah. So yeah, Trick Williams. Yeah, no, bro.
You talk about a fall from a year, man.
Well, he's being outshined by his significant other.
Yes.
Like the rocket ship on Lash is significant, and she talk about sinking or swimming in the position she's been given. She's swam and swam well, and looks like she's on her way to being, you know, a star. And I hated Lash Legend when she first debuted.
Same.
With the Wendy Williams last talk. I was completely out on her. But now, you know, coming off the Rumble, everything else, like, yeah. But I don't know what they do with Trick. I don't know. Maybe Trick needs to go away for a little bit.
NXT lifer to me.
Go to TNA.
So, Steve, you know, we've talked about how NXT, you know, used to have the 6-month rule. Like, if that was actually in place, do you think he would get cut or should get cut?
No.
No, because Trick's still he's a fan favorite who's still, like, to me, Trick was boosted up by a theme song.
Been saying it.
Yeah.
He's the entrance.
Yeah, like all that goes, you know, at some point in time the bell's gonna ring.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's still in that developmental phase for sure.
Because if they would bring him up to the main roster, like after WrestleMania, he'd be a mid-carder for sure.
He can hold his ground on the mic. That's it.
How does Dustin say it? Enhancement talent. That's all he will be. Speed.
So, all right, those are our mushes this week. If you had any additional mushes, feel free to chime in and let us know who you had, as well as your Mount Rushmores for the week.
Talk on for Super League. Mush.
Yeah. Don't worry, Taquan.
Mush.
Taquan, we're going to redeem ourselves later on in the One Gotta Go segment that'll drop later on in the week in that regards. But let's get into Vengeance Day. Let's run through the card.
I got 6 matches on the card.
6.
We'll kick off with Javon Evans versus Ethan Page.
Look, this is a great. Well, I don't want to say great, but this is a very good mid-carder type feud, right? You have story, you got purpose, you got good guy, you got bad guy, you got overcoming, you got redemption, you got revenge, like everything you need in a nice mid-card story for people that, you know, you have talent that's been in the upper, you know, title picture that is a superstar that you could bank on, and Ethan Page. You got your younger talent and Javon Evans, who the fans love, can get behind, and they've told a nice story to get to this point. So I'm here for this match. I do not want to see Javon Evans win this match, though. Keep me on the all heel ego Ethan Page run, and have him continue this streak of dastardly deeds where he's taking out people with injuries. I thought Ethan nailed his promo package on Tuesday night, and So yeah, give me Ethan Page, even though I got a feeling they may put Javon over here.
Yeah, give me Ethan. Break his jaw again. I don't like Javon.
Steve, I'm the same thinking on you. Like, I feel like this could be a Javon match, but Ethan needs to continue his run. I think it's going to be a great match, but yeah, all ego.
Give me Ethan. I like Javon, but I think he got that push too soon to be a big name.
Okay.
Next,
Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe.
Bathroom break. Again, the stipulation doesn't make sense.
You know,
what's the stipulation?
Strap match.
Oh, this is the strap match. Okay.
Yeah.
Trick.
You can't have him lose to a strap match in February.
Just having a strap match in February is crazy to begin with. But if this was TK, you know who's taking the L.
I honestly don't care. I don't care for both of them, so I don't care.
Like, I'm expecting Trick to win, but Sean and Hunter, Eddie's going to win. Let's go to the NXT Tag Team Championship. Fraxium versus Briggs and Inamura.
Fraxium's not losing because, again, I pick against them in every single card that they do. So I'm not doing it this time. I watch them actually lose. No, but this is your quintessential speed versus power.
Hey, that dude's frog splash or whatever he does. Solid.
Yeah.
That Yoshi or I'm gonna butcher it.
Yeah.
It's a big man frog splash right there.
Speed versus power. Give me speed. Give me Frazier and Axiom to come through.
Yeah, I definitely see Fraxium retaining.
Fraxium.
Yeah, this ain't the team yet.
Fraxium to a legit contender come up.
Unless it's no quarter cash crew. I don't want to see it on nobody else.
Exactly.
Well, then on TNA this week too, they teased Fraxium versus the Hardys for a match at some point. So
there goes your new NXT champs right there.
All right, up next, NXT Women's North American Championship, Fallon versus Vakir. Do they do it?
I don't know, because then you would have, Stephanie a la Julia title versus title, right? You got Zarya in a tag team with Sol Ruka right now. Jordan Grace is still rumored to come into NXT and not go straight to the main roster. I'm more invested in the story of Fallon and Kalani, just based off of the attitude that Kalani has right now, and hunting, back for that title there. But I'm not going to be mad if they put the belt on Stephanie right now. You got, Stephanie is big name, quintessential, great talent. You have Julia, who's big name, quintessential, great talent. And those are your two women's champs in your women's division from a singles perspective. You can't go wrong there. But I've enjoyed Fallon's run. I think she's completely 180'd her character. And even though it's a little too close to the Mandy Rose toxic attraction bit, my heart says, yeah, I'll go with Stephanie. This is a toss-up for me. I can book it either way.
I'm going to go with Fallon retaining. I think Stephanie loses her first, just like Julia lost her first.
Cool. I'm kind of thinking, kind of with you, Steve, I could see it going either way. My prediction's going to be Stephanie. Just, I think they're going to give her the title, but I could definitely see Fallon and shenanigans to maybe just not necessarily cost Stephanie like a loss, but something to end the match, maybe like by disqualification or something.
I'll go Stephanie. You got too many women coming in to pin like what title's going where. So at least put it on her, because if Jordan's coming in, I don't know, is she going straight for the main title?
I don't expect Jordan to be there long, but she is rumored to be coming in, and again, many a season, right? Like same with Ricky, like come in, have her do a nice stretch, and then bump her up after Mania and get her going on the main roster. Jordan's not an NXT talent.
No. Give me Stephanie.
NXT Women's Championship 4-way match: Julia, Bayley, Roxanne, and Cora. Cora's here to take the pin, right?
She is. And that's what I hated about her winning.
Which doesn't make any sense because you got Bayley and Roxanne both on the main roster on Raw. Yeah. So unless you spin this into a feud with Julia and Cora, maybe Roxanne takes the pin. And then that way Cora can say, you didn't pin me. And you can actually get a feud with Cora and Julia. Does a pin hurt Roxanne? Maybe. If anything, I would have Bayley eat the pin, to be honest with you.
Because it's not going to hurt her because she's going to the chamber.
Yeah.
But if Cora gets pinned, it hurts her a lot. Julia.
Yeah, champ retaining for me here.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Julia retains. All right. And last up, NXT Championship, Oba versus Theory versus Waller.
I would have the women 4-way be the main event instead of this.
Yeah, this is a joke.
I don't know how you do this match and then put Waller and Theory back on the main roster and have them be a tag team.
Yeah. This was almost my Mount Rushmore.
Unless Oba does the a la Roman Reigns where he pinned Edge and Daniel Bryan at the same time. That's the only way that Theory and Waller can still be a team. It'd be a handicap match, 2-on-1 the whole time, and then Oba power bombs both of them into oblivion and stacks one on top of the other and pins them both.
Sounds good to me.
This was almost my Mount Rushmore because with those two put on in the ring, you wasn't going to see on the main roster. Promos they cut.
You mean the mush, not Mount Rushmore.
Mush?
You mean them two on the mush, or put Theory and Waller on the main roster or on Mount Rushmore because of their promo on Tuesday?
I'm just gonna put them on the Mount Rushmore because of their promo on Tuesday. It's a feud that we've been looking for. Well, I've been looking forward to, and what they delivered there, you wasn't going to see on the main roster.
But Oba, this is Battle of the Belts.
Yeah.
There's no real true reason to turn into this event, to be honest with you.
Only reason starts at 6 tonight.
Yeah.
That's it. Gets it out of the way early.
It could run in the Grand Slam.
6 o'clock on the cock, Peacock.
It'll go. I'll watch it till 8 o'clock and then flip over to the USA Canada game.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Hits, misses. Let me pull up and see. Here's a topic that we can spitball a little bit. So AEW allegedly have been keeping their pay-per-view events and dates quiet and not putting them out there because, as we know, WWE countered All In with Saturday night's main event, and there was one other one that they countered as well.
You got to fight with baseball and basketball.
So,
watch out for him.
Do you really think WWE is purposefully counteracting AEW events from a pay-per-view standpoint so that way they lose viewership, etc., etc.?
Probably.
Wrestling's a petty business. 100% believe it.
I mean, didn't they always have this February? It was a Valentine's Day thing. I don't know if it was. Those might have been Tuesday shows, though.
Yeah, with NXT, it's varied.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I have for that. We don't got to sit on it. There was an announcement, Chris. You'll probably chime in more about this than Donald or Jason, just because me and you tend to watch the show more, or we have in the past. But MLW, they have their Battle Riot match coming up, and it was announced by Eazy-E Eric Bischoff that the MLW heavyweight champion Matt Riddle will defend the title in the Battle Riot match.
I did not know he was champion.
40-man Royal Rumble. The title will be on the line. Normally, the winner of the Battle Riot gets the title shot. This year's Battle Riot, the champion has to defend the belt.
Who am I voting for in that match? Any of those 39 competitors.
Good move, bad move.
It's a bad move.
Eazy-E still have his fastball booking wise.
I haven't been watching MLW, so I don't know why. If it's like Riddle versus all right now, so it's an easy way to have him defend the title, but it's something different at least.
Here's the thing: does he come in at 40? Since you're the champ,
put him in at 1.
Put him in at 1, like Triple H did Roman.
Oh no, that's.
I mean, I'll watch Battle Riot just because I watch Battle Riot every year, just because they pull some deep cuts as far as surprises. Yeah. Like when Kim Chi came out 2 years ago, I popped and was like, "Oh, this is what we're doing. This is tremendous." But and then last 2 quick hitters for me. First one, Zack Sabre Jr. lost the New Japan World Heavyweight title to Hiroki Goto. I did not see that title change coming that quickly after what Sabre did with it. So I don't know what that means. I haven't heard anything contract-wise. Zack Sabre has always said he's a New Japan guy. He wouldn't leave for AEW. Yeah. He's had his cup of coffees in AEW. Put on some great matches in AEW, but it's just a little surprising that they pulled it at an event when they did what they did. I didn't understand it from a booking aspect.
Sometimes they do this, just to kind of build back up to the June event. You'll get that, but Dominion. I didn't see it coming. Yeah, Dominion's always the second biggest event of the year.
And then lastly, as far as releases go, with the title of the show, with release date, TNA also have releases this week. So Josh Matthews and Christy Hemme are no longer with the company. Josh Matthews was in, both of them were in back office at this point in time, but Matthews, from his ring announcing days to being in upper management and everything else, he is no longer with the company as well. So apparently, and I had the press release that TNA announced with the new hires that were coming in. Based on those individuals, and I can't find it off scrolling through right now, but the individuals that they brought in are like true TV exec type of individuals. It's not wrestling in-house people like TNA has been with the Moore, Matthews, Hemme, etc. Right? So we'll see how that shakes out in the lines. Does that fall more under the scope of like this partnership with WWE and that? So TNA is getting those types of relationships now where they can bring some of them people in and sign some of those bigger TV production type names that they didn't have access to before because of this partnership, or if this change of direction was, I guess in the works for a long time and it just happens to fall out now based on the announcement.
Yeah, I thought I had it saved here too, and I don't either. But the guy that is now running Anthem, like the sports division, he said that he sees a lot of great things and potential for TNA, and he's kind of going to invest some time and money into it. And then there's a new person being the head of TNA, so I hope they do. I don't know what changes you make at this point, but anything to make it, get more eyes on the product.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what's what there. More shakeout, more fallout. Don't know when we'll see the impact that it may have on the product, but kind of is what it is, right? But yeah, we'll see. So that's all I had from a quick hit aspect. Any other questions, concerns, gripes, etc., etc.?
I'm good.
Good. Anybody else?
I'm good.
Good. All right. I'm trying to find quote of the week here. See where my list is at. Why does nothing want to pull up right now?
While you're pulling that up, while you're trying to find it, I will bring up one other thing that I had. Learning Tree was voted the worst gimmick in the Wrestling Observer fan voted awards for 2024.
No, that would be Dave Meltzer.
The Wyatt Six was actually number 2.
I seen AEW Dynamite got the best show.
Yeah, the show that lost the most viewership over the course of the year was voted the best show.
Uncle Dave.
Collision Brown on the bottom. Bookended.
Justified. Still looking?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with it, like my internet and shit right now. Like nothing is pulling up, right?
Anybody picking up that 2K25 when it drops?
No.
Oh my God, come on, guys. Come on.
I told you.
You don't want to be on the island of relevancy?
I think they added too much shit at the sake of the game. You could have just give me a better gameplay. That's all I need. I don't need the island. I don't need those other venues.
What is it? That's gonna be like kind of like a Fortnite type game.
No, it's like how 2K basketball is.
Yeah.
You make an avatar. You go around to different places, make friends, do challenges, build up your characters. Yeah, do all that stuff. So it's just that NBA 2K, my 2K mode, just in wrestling now.
Thinking about Jordan's on the island.
All right, this isn't the original quote of the week this week, but it's the only one that I can get to pull up right this second. So screw it. We're going to run with it. Positivity for you going into your Monday. For those of you that are off, enjoy your day off. But nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to episode 226 of the Dunmarks Podcast. Release date. As always, follow us on all social media platforms at Dunmarks Pod. Head on over, email the show with your critiques, criticisms, what we could do better at dunmarkspod@gmail.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/DunmarksPod. Pick up some merch. We'll give you a live shout out on air. And until next time, I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. Y'all can catch us around the way.